What's up guys? In this video we're going to be looking at the top stocks and penny stocks that are breaking out to the upside while the overall market was actually selling off to the downside, guys. I'm also going to be going over the number one penny stock Robinhood users are buying a lot. This is the number one penny stocks with the majority holdings on Robinhood app. I'm also going to be going over the quick stock market recap to see exactly what are the sectors that have been selling off hard and what are the stocks that are actually gotten cheaper because of these sell-off that we experienced today, guys. So make sure you stay tuned. Now let's get right into the video. Alright guys, so before we get into the video, make sure you smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and if you have any questions, make sure you drop it in the comment section below, guys. I really appreciate it, guys. Anyway, as you can see over here, guys, the number one stock today was actually breaking out to the upside was the stock that we talked about was Hyliion. This actually is currently trading with ticker symbol SHLL. We talked about it, how this stock has a potential to spike up 100% to 3 even to 400%, guys, when the merger is complete. Now, we do not know the specific date that the merger is going to be completed, but it's going to be in Q3 2020. As you can see over here, the overall stock market, as you can see over here, the S&P 500 down 2.42%, Dow is down 730 points, NASDAQ is down. Now, NASDAQ was actually the one that was leading the market, and these major companies like Facebook, Apple were the ones that was leading the market. The Russell 2000 down, oil down, and gold is actually up pretty good, which is actually pretty good. As you can see over here, the stock just went up 41.21%. It was actually pulling back a little bit the past few days, so that was a good opportunity for people that wanted to buy. I know a lot of people actually got involved in this stock, and the volume, as you can see over here, 36 million shares have been bought and sold today, whereas the average volume is around 1 million shares, guys. And when we look at the other company that we talked about yesterday, the ticker symbol vxrt was actually up a significant above 50%. It gapped up all the way to around $11.80, and it hit a high of $14 before closing at $8. So this is a pretty big, huge range that it traded today, but we talked about it in detail on our previous video of the COVID-19 vaccine stocks that are super hot. Now, this stock used to be a penny stock, as I mentioned in the past, but these stocks have been hot right now, gapping up significantly because money is flowing to these stocks because there is a huge emergency and crisis going on globally. Even in the US, the cases actually spiked up significantly to the upside, and that's why the stock market actually was going down. Another company that used to be a penny stock is still kind of close to being a penny stock, but it broke out. We talked about it on the other video I covered a few months ago while it was trading below $5, around $5 area, but now it's currently trading above the $8 mark. It broke out. Now it's like at $9.10. It's up 10.77%. Now, I like this setup because there's very, very clear levels that we can use as support and resistance areas. So if we get involved in it, we can risk off of those levels, which is super important to manage our risk. Whereas when we looked at VXRT yesterday, it just gapped up to the upside. So you can get chopped off pretty quickly because there's no levels that you can play off of. And it's really kind of risky when you get involved in it, unless you want to just buy it and hold it for a few months or like a few weeks for a swing trade. But if you want to get in and out, these levels are really, really important. So DVAX is one of COVID-19 vaccine stocks that have been working a lot that I talked about in a few months. The news that came out and why these company is actually breaked out to the upside was mainly because of the company is partnering with another Chinese company. They are working on finding, a vaccine for the virus, and they recently just started testing on human beings, so that is a great news. So DVAX announced that its China's based collaboration partner Clever Biopharmaceutical has begun a phase 1 study on its COVID-19 vaccine candidate that contains DVAX's CpG1018 adjuvant. So this is the main headline that kind of came out, and that kind of make this stock to spike up to the upside. So the other company is using partnering with this company. They're using some of the tools and some of the research that they did together to find solutions for the pandemic and to provide vaccine that is desperately needed right now, because there's a lot of issues going on. The numbers are spiking significantly, and that is why the stock is actually climbing to the upside today, guys. So as you can see over here, we can have a definitely pretty good risk reward levels that we can use. So $8 mark is pretty good price point, because the stock, as you can see, when it breaks out to the upside, it pulls back a lot. Like when it starts to trend to the downside, like it starts to sell off and it starts to go up to the upside, it can have multiple continuous days to the upside too. So just be on the lookout for it. But I like this stock if it can hold above $8, using the $8 as a support area. And if it pulls back below $8, just keep an eye on it. It might be, might sell off and just go back to the area that it broke out of. So keep an eye on DVAX. This is a potential penny stock play. There used to be a penny stock play. So the share of outstanding for the company was also 85.8 million shares. The share of the float is 84.14 million shares. And the insider transaction has been really, really high, 198.95%. So that is pretty big. And as you can see, institution ownership is 65.20%. So that is significant. So either hedge funds or people and the banks are kind of holding the share of this company. So that is a pretty good sign, because if it's like not a lot of institutional ownership, if it's owned by retail investors, things like that, the prices can fluctuate if they decide to sell pretty quickly, or they can be manipulated pretty quickly. Also, the share is kind of relatively higher too at the same time. So I like DVAX, and it kind of gives us a clean breakout that we wanted to. So the other top penny stock Robinhood users are holding significantly is, believe it or not, it's GoPro, guys. GoPro is the number one stock in Robinhood. A lot of Robinhood users buy this company. I don't blame them, because as you can see over here, for the March lows that it made, it's just bounced significantly. The lows it made is like $2, and it went up to $5. It went up like pretty good, and it's kind of holding up the gains that it had. A pullback over here, but now it's kind of holding the $4.55. So stocks that are below $5 are considered to be penny stocks. So this is actually considered to be not a penny stock for a few days. It went above the $5 mark, but it's still in the penny streets right now. So this is the number one stock a lot of people are holding. A lot of users are holding this company. So we'll see exactly how the future of this company is. But as you can see, it says institution ownership is 65.10%. So it's not a lot. Also, retail investors hold it in Robinhood too. So that is a significant portion of the company is also held by retail investors in Robinhood. And the share of the float is 147.56 million shares. So it's really pretty big. And they used to be a really famous company, but now they still have some products coming out. So people like it and hold it, because I think it's kind of stable compared to the other penny stocks that we look at, like the biotech place that we look at, because this is kind of just like a stable, and they kind of know it's like familiar to them. So that's why I think they hold GoPro penny stock in their portfolio, I guess. Now let's look at the overall market, guys. As you can see over here, the market has been selling off to the downside. We got Microsoft down 2%, Apple down 3%, Google down 5.45%. But the major companies that's been down, that's been hit significantly, was Facebook and Twitter, guys. Facebook down minus 8.32%, Twitter down 7.4%. I'm going to talk about in detail what happened in these companies in a bit second, and the healthcare down, the consumer defenses, like the majority of the sectors are getting hit pretty bad. The main reason why the stock market basically sold down to the downside is that the cases are rising, the coronavirus cases are rising, and Texas and Florida are closing bars again. So this is kind of opening the gateway for a second shutdown. So if a second shutdown happens, there's going to be a huge hit possibly coming to the stock market, guys. But now it's just only for Texas and Florida. They're closing bars. They're not actually closing like lots of businesses, just closing out some of the, the things that people gather around in specific areas. So that is just the first step, though. And if still the cases keep rising, you better believe that they're going to start closing, other stuff too. So that is the main reason why the overall stock market went down. But when you look at specifically the chart, Facebook is down 8.32%. Now, this is actually fueled not only by the pandemic news, but also some advertisers actually pausing advertising on Facebook because there's actually a disagreement with some of some of the things that the company want them to actually do. So that is the main reason why they went down. Also, Twitter, also the same reason, because they kind of changed their guidelines and things like that. So it's down 7.4%, guys. So if you believe in the companies, they're providing a solid opportunity for a buy, especially Twitter. It's been going to the downside for like 2 weeks straight, like red. And it's getting like closer, basically. If we can continue to sell off, it's not going to take that long for it to go over the March pandemic lows that it hit over here around $22. But if you're interested in buying these two stocks, they're the one that kind of got hit pretty big. But the overall market was just down today, guys. S&P 500, SPY has just been down. And as we've been following this trend line, we've been in this kind of trend line between these 2 points. And we kind of hovered below the 300 point too. We kind of did not go below the 300 point. But now we're just looking at the support. If it goes like 296, this was the area that we kind of marked over here. So we'll see what's going to happen, guys. It might just start to go down. We might have like a gap down like on Monday too. That's going to take us below this point, and God knows what's going to happen next. But Apple went down, Netflix, Microsoft, the airlines just, oh my God, airlines just getting destroyed. Apple down 3%. So from the highs that it made a few days ago. But the airlines, guys, the airlines, they're basically back to the point where they broke out. We've been talking about these stocks for the past 2 days, for the past few days, about when we do our recaps. This is basically the area that they were hovered when the pandemic sell-off just ended, so they basically like in a few percentage away, like $2 away. If it goes to $10, below $10, that's it, guys. They just gonna be at the level they just broke out of, so, and the cases continue to rise, so they can potentially make new lows. So that is not looking pretty good for any airline company. United Airlines also just getting beat down today, minus 5.19%, guys. So that really sucks. Carnival Cruise also down. The only stock that's been strong, that kind of broke out to the upside, that had a really good momentum, is that Hyliion. So I know some people are just started buying, as so that means like the merger date is kind of approaching. A lot of pump going on with this stock. Even if you believe in the company, you do not believe in the company, guys, but it is the time to get involved in it before it starts going to the actual moon. Right now it's just a breakout to the International Space Station. It's just gonna go freaking ballistic once the merge is complete. It's gonna go ham if it kind of repeat itself to what happened to Nikola stock, so it's just an amazing opportunity to get involved in it right over here. But it just like bounced, like you're still up like $4, if you buy it right at the highs, you're up like $4, like $6, like $7, guys. So you're up a few grand just by one day, within 1 or 2 days. So this kind of stuff, this is a 41% return within 1 day. So that is really fantastic, guys. Anyway, guys, that's the major stock. That's what happened in the stock market, guys. If you enjoyed this video, guys, make sure you smash the like button. If you have any questions, make sure you subscribe. And also, I make recap videos daily, so make sure you subscribe for content like this. But I'll catch you guys on the next videos. Have a wonderful weekend and day.